This is just going to be a very quick one. Um, there's so many new subscribers. I think it's almost doubled in number. Not quite, but close enough. So, and quite a lot of you are buying my book, Believe. So I just wanted to warn you, it's a little bit offset. You can see it's not perfectly centered, front and back. So I haven't had a chance to fix this. So if you order the hard copy, you're gonna have the slightly flawed first edition. The inside is fine, and as you can see, it's not a huge book, so it's an easy and quick read. But I'm very pleased with the feedback I'm getting. There are people that are converting and going back to church and all sorts, just as a result of reading this. So thank you for that. Those of you that let me know that stuff and emailed and commented and so on. It's very, very kind of you, and I'm glad it's helping. So feel free to distribute it. Obviously, this is written pretty much like my videos, so I don't pull any punches. I think there's a couple of things in there which are, probably at least PG rated or something. So read it through first so that you know who you can and can't give it to, if you're going to give it to anybody. Again, thank you to all the bears and all the new people that have come to the channel. It looks like the Immortals have gone from 300 to almost 600 in like a day. So thanks to Owen and Vox for that. And at the end of Vox's stream last night, I managed to catch the tail end of it. And he actually made me burst out laughing. Because I just sent him a super chat just to say, hey, thanks, by the way. I don't know what you said to Owen, but he was very kind, which is nice. And I said, the boost to the channel was so big, I'm already dreaming of making Constantinople Kurganstinople. And he just quietly, in his Vox humor, he just quietly went, that's slightly terrifying. And then he said, I'm just trying to imagine, what would a Kurgan crowdfunding be like? And if we reach the 5 million stretch goal, we can buy 2 nuclear detonation devices. It was just hilarious. I don't know how he came up with that, but yeah. Anyway, Vox is very funny. He's got a very dry sense of humor, almost English really, which I really like. But yeah, so thanks Vox, thanks Owen, thanks Bears, VFM, Ilk, and now the fast growing Immortals that come to this channel. And that was it really. I just wanted to let you know ahead of time that if you order the hard copy, you're gonna have a slightly flawed cover. That should be in the center. So, and I didn't screw this up. I used the template that they gave, and I measured it all. So the measurements on my side are correct, but I think I know what happened. I think the trim is a lot more than what they said, and for whatever reason it went that way. But I will eventually fix it, but no promises. I don't know when I'll get to do that. And also, this is the first in a Warrior Monk series, which it's early days, and I don't want to say things that then don't pan out. But I'm in talks with certain people, some of which you might know, in doing this this particular logo, if you like, or this particular brand as a one that you can recognize as being sort of in keeping with our general philosophies. There is another book being written by somebody else on sort of diet and food and that sort of thing, and it's again, it's a very small book. It started out, and I kind of pushed this guy to do it as a pamphlet, and it's been growing, and I don't know how his progress is going, but I think the idea is still to do it, and I think the idea is still to do it under this this branding or this logo of Warrior Monk, with that logo. So the idea is that if you see that logo, it's stuff that I generally approve of personally, and that I've read myself or agree with in general terms. Of course, it is a sort of trademark copyrighted logo, so hopefully we're not going to get too many SJWs trying to copy it, steal it, and pretend that I agree with any crap that they produce. But if that happens, let me know, and I'll immediately jump on it. You know, we don't take prisoners here, as you guys know by now. Gammas they don't get a warning, they don't get anything. They go straight to the mass graves, and the same applies to people who will try to mess with any of our IP. As you know, Vox has made great strides in teaching Indiegogo a bit of a lesson, and just keep in mind that, you know, Vox is the supreme Dark Lord, and he is kind and merciful compared to the way I prefer to do things. So yeah, anyway, again, very grateful to all you guys. A lot of mostly good comments. Some people went straight to spam, but you know, that's a numbers game. And the interesting thing, I think, I wanted to say something to Owen, which I you know, he mentioned it, I think, on towards the end of the stream or in the middle of it. I think he's learning something that I just, you know, been doing from the start. Just ban immediately. When you get a stupid little gamma who's lying, who's trying to pretend, who's trying to be a clever boy, just ban him outright. You know, that's it, done. You don't have to explain anything. And that way, over time, they start to get the message, you know, and it's no more fun for them because all they want is your attention, and they're psychic vampires, you know. So what you do with a psychic vampire, you don't feed it, you kill it, you know. Take out the cross, smash it in its head. That's it. You know how you kill vampires. Cut off their head, putting under a stream of flowing water and stake them through the heart and all that. You don't need to warn them. You know, they're psychic vampires. You know, just like you don't, just like I said in the last video, you know, social justice warriors, liars, you don't give these people the benefit, the courtesy of an argument. They don't deserve it. They haven't earned an argument. Blast them. Blast them out of your sight. Blast them with truth at every opportunity. Call them out for the liars that they are. You know, get rid of them. Have nothing to do with them. Silence them from your channel. Silence them from your social media. You don't have to take anything from these people. You know, some years ago, I was working for this company that wanted to hire me full time, and you know, I was having some issues, obviously, with my kid, and then I was trying to reach some kind of agreement. And they gave me this contract to sign that was like, you know, a little Bible of basically what they were saying is like, all your intellectual property, whether done at work or out of work, will belong to us. You will have no social media presence. Everything that you do on social media will be considered as, you know, representing the company, blah, blah, blah. I wrote back to them a one-page letter saying, I can't accept any of these conditions because I've been online for 20 years. I'm all over the place. If you Google my name, I've been in films. I've written books, and no, my intellectual property is mine, will remain mine, and anything that I do outside of work hours or not connected to work will remain mine. And also, I don't agree to any of your conditions regarding the expression of my ideas, thoughts, or whatever, because they're already out there, and I'm not going to change them for you or anybody else. So the next step was a meeting with HR, where the silly bitch who, at the first meeting I had with HR when they originally hired me, she was all smiles, and, you know, she was pretty hot looking, and she was one of those women that obviously banks on that. And, you know, she'd just been promoted, so she was all smiles and everything. And that was, I think, somewhere towards the end of the year when I first met her. And then we had sort of the Christmas party, and at the Christmas party, I turned up with a woman that I was seeing at the time, who literally turned everybody's head. You know, okay, she also had a red dress on, and she, you know, she was just one of those women that men will look at and women will envy, sort of thing, because just of how she looked. And I said hi to her, and you could tell right there and then she was with her boyfriend, which was a few years younger than her, and a complete cuck. And he was like, yes, dear, no, dear. He would bring her the drinks, and he was just like, what? And, you know, as we were talking, I can't remember, I said something like, oh, can you just give me a drink, babe? You know, so my girl went to get me the drinks. And this guy, when he was the little, and you could just tell from that moment on, you know, it was like seething rage. You know, it's like she was with some soft, limp, dick, twisted bisexual, whatever it was, and I was with a hottie and running things as I do. And so when this came up, months down the line, she was like, well, I found your blog and there's some things here which be construed as misogynist, and it wasn't the birth of my daughter. She dared to pick a blog post where I put the birth of my daughter, where I'd said at the time, hey, you know, whatever lapses of logic women might have, it's totally forgiven by the fact they can make babies, because it's like magic, you know. And I said, do you realize that that's actually a compliment? So I don't know, do you have a problem with English? And then the other thing that she picked out is I've got an image of an ex-girlfriend that's, you know, she's naked, but it's tastefully done. It's not like you can really see anything. And, you know, obviously the girl knows she's on there. She was quite proud of the fact. It was on the images that I talked about when I went to Troy. You know, on my blog, there's like some photographs. Some relate to the face on Mars, some relate to one of my weddings, you know, whatever. And there's one where there's this ex-girlfriend of mine who's very pretty, and, you know, she's naked. And she said, and, you know, and this, you know, it's not really... I said, listen, if you don't like it, you don't have to look at it. She said, but, you know, the girl, I mean... I said, what? Do you want a number? You want to call her up? Because she's proud to be out there. So, you know, if she doesn't have a problem with it, I don't see why you should. And she said, well, you know, it's a line. I said, okay, so define the line for me. What's the line? Because it's interpretation, right? So your interpretation is whatever. My interpretation is whatever. What's it matter? If you can't deal with it, then don't deal with it. Don't go there. Nobody's forcing anybody to go there. And if you don't want to hire me because of that, you know, then that's on you. And it was like, you could see that one of the project directors was there as well, and he was really uncomfortable, because he was like, he knew I was right, but he couldn't say anything because she was the head of HR, and, you know, it was all political, and it was just like, what a fucking joke, you know. Anyway, that never, it didn't go much further than that after that for other reasons. But anyway, you know, you don't have to give these people the time of day. Don't bend, don't break, and like Vox says, make the rubble bounce. If it turns to rubble, make the rubble bounce. Don't go gently and silently into the night, you know. That's not our way. That's not our way. It's not the Catholic way. Remember what a Catholic is. Le Valette. If you don't know who that is, look at the last video. Le Valette. Read up. Check out the last video if you don't know who Le Valette was. That's a man I aspire to become. At age 82, I hope if I can do what Valette did at age 82 or something along those lines, I'll die a happy man when my time comes. So that's what I aspire to become. That's a Catholic. Learn what a Catholic is, yeah. That's it. It's a quick one. I know it's sort of fire and brimstone, but there you go. You know, again, for the psychic vampires. And there's a particular commenter, I'm sorry, I don't remember his name, who just said, he made a comment on this book, and he said he's going to buy some to give to his friends. So that's really why I'm making the video, because I just want to warn you, it's the finishing on the, you know, the inside is fine. There's nothing wrong with the inside. But I'm not 100% happy with this, but I don't know when I'll have the time to correct it. So it may be a while. You might get the first edition flawed, just like all human beings on earth. Flawed, but good. Okay, good night. Have a brilliant weekend if I don't see you or talk to you before then.